Today, we're digging into the story of a musician, El Makabelico, who is caught right in the middle of a massive controversy. I mean, is he a dangerous propagandist for one of Mexico's most infamous cartels? Or is he just telling his own life story? A gritty, self-made rise from nothing to the top. To figure that out, we've got to look at both sides, the serious accusations and the anthem that started it all.
So, the accusations against him, they are incredibly severe. One formal denouncement really doesn't mince words. It says that before he's an artist, before he's a musician, he is, first and foremost, a criminal. It's just a blunt, direct accusation that really sets a serious tone for this whole thing.
But it doesn't even stop there. The same source takes it a step further. A big step. Leveling an accusation that carries a ton of weight on the world stage. Terrorist.
Okay, so what about his music? Well, according to this denouncement, it is not art. It's not expression. No, it's described as pure propaganda, created for one reason and one reason only, to promote the notorious Cartel Del Noreste.
Right, so that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? We've heard these really severe accusations, but what is he actually saying in his music? To get the full picture, we have to go right to the source material, the lyrics themselves. Okay, let's dive in.
All right, so first up, a stark accusation. Let's start by breaking down the specific claims that are really the foundation of this entire controversy.
Look, the denouncement is crystal clear. It flat out labels him a propaganda artist working for what it calls the terrorist group Cartel Del Noreste. The document insists his message and his behavior can't just be ignored. They have to be actively denounced. As you can see, there's absolutely no gray area here. It is a total condemnation.
Now, let's switch gears and listen to the voice of El COAHUILA. This song is a narco corrido, which is a style of Mexican music that tells stories about the lives of drug traffickers. So let's actually get into the lyrics and see what kind of self-portrait he's painting for the world.
He kicks off the song by basically saying, "You're not going to believe my story." He paints this picture of a super humble beginning. My mom cleaned houses, my dad was a yard worker. It's that classic rags to riches setup, which, stands in pretty stark contrast to the dangerous figure we heard about in the accusations.
And this line right here, this is the core of his whole narrative. I started from zero. It's a really powerful claim that he's completely self-made, that every single thing he has, he built from absolutely nothing. It's a theme he comes back to over and over. So if he started from zero, where did he end up? Well, that brings us to our next part, an image of lavish success. The lyrics shift pretty quick from the rags to a really, really detailed picture of the riches.
This line is basically the mission statement for his success story. I'm making money, but on another level. He's not just saying he's rich, he's claiming he's playing in a completely different league.
And you've got to appreciate the sheer detail he goes into. He doesn't just say, "I'm rich." No, he gives you an itemized list. Gold and diamond-encrusted guns, Versace everything, a Corvette, a Hummer, a mansion with its own movie theater, and yeah, even a pet crocodile. These aren't just vague boasts, they're really vivid symbols of some kind of extreme wealth.
But how does he say he can afford all this stuff? Well, that takes us to section 4, the business described in the song. And believe me, the lyrics do not shy away from talking about where all of this money comes from.
And right here, this is where the song takes a sharp turn into the explicit. This might just be the most candid line of the whole thing. He says it plainly, "My parents know I traffic and they support me anyway." I mean, that's a shocking admission that throws this whole complicated family dynamic into his story. And the lyrics make it sound like this is no small-time operation. He starts name-dropping this huge network of places. It's like a lyrical map of his influence. It covers cities all over Mexico, major U.S. hubs like Atlanta and Vegas, and even stretches out internationally to Guatemala and Canada. It really paints a picture of a massive, far-reaching enterprise.
Okay, so this brings us to our final section, and really the heart of the conflict. How are we supposed to reconcile these two completely different portrayals? On one hand, you have the hardened criminal, on the other, the self-made man. So which is it? Is this propaganda, or is it popular art?
And this is where you can see the two realities side by side. The denouncement says he creates propaganda for the Cartel Del Noreste, but in his song, he claims, "I work independently for them, I don't pull for any company." See, he's drawing a really fine line there, suggesting he's more of a freelancer than an actual card-carrying member. So we circle all the way back to that core accusation. Now that you've heard his story, the humble beginnings, the insane lifestyle, the open admission of trafficking, that charge of propaganda feels a lot more complex, right? The crucial question is this: is his claim of being independent a real distinction, or is it just some clever wording to hide the truth?
And in the end, that's the question we're all left with. Is El Makabelico's music a dangerous message designed to make a criminal lifestyle look glamorous? Or is it just a raw reflection of a brutal reality, told by someone who claims he actually lived it? Based on everything we've looked at, the final call? Well, that's up to you.